we go. We're going to start this with the most important theorem about triangles you could ever possibly want to know. Okay, I bet you already know it. Alright, see, I have those 3 angles inside there, right? A triangle means 3 angles, right? A figure that has 3 angles. So I have angle 1, I have angle 2, and I have angle 3. This is the most important theorem that we could talk about for triangles. The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. Take a guess as to what that has to add up to. Yes, sir. You got it. 180 degrees. We cannot make this any more special than it already is. This is the most important theorem about triangles you could possibly want to think of. Right? The sum of the measure of the interior angles of a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. When we talk about triangle parts here. Yep, just like that. So there are a couple of parts that we have to be familiar with. And let's start with these points here on the edge. Okay? These points on the edge of the triangle, these are called the vertices. So each one is called a vertex. Yep. So the plural of vertex is vertices. So this is a vertex. So the vertex is, how would you classify what the vertex is? It's a point. Yeah, very good. The vertex is simply a point, and it is a point right there. So that means that this one up here, this is also a vertex. Right there. And this is also a vertex over here. That's what that means. So I have 3 of those. So 3 vertices in a triangle. And then the other parts I have are the parts in between the vertices of this part right here. See it? That's called a side. And how would you classify what a side actually is? It's a segment. There you go. I don't know. Have I talked about triangles yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
We talked about sides on something.
We talked about the sides of an angle. We talked about sides of an angle. That's what we did. Yep. And then we have a side here. So every triangle has 3 sides and 3 vertices. Fair enough? Fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin to classify triangles. Classifying triangles is just a way to talk about them. There are 2 different ways that we can classify triangles. We can either classify triangles by the angles that describe it, or the sides that it has. So I'm going to break it down for you, either by angles or by sides. Okay? So the first way, let's talk about angles. The first way, there are 4 ways, or 4 types of classifications of triangles by angles. And the first one is known as an acute triangle. So what does an acute triangle mean? Now remember, I'm talking about the angles. What do you think? Yeah.
Less than 90.
Yeah.
Less than 90.
Okay, so it'll have 3 acute, less than 90 angles. That's what that means, right? So an acute triangle, all 3 angles are less than 90 degrees. Fair enough? Okay. The second way that we can classify a triangle by its angles is something by an obtuse. An obtuse triangle. Alright, so what would an obtuse triangle? It would have to have
It's like 3.
1. Can it have 3 obtuse angles? 1 obtuse angle. If it has 1 obtuse angle, then we can classify a triangle by angle saying it's obtuse. The third way would be a right triangle. How would you know if it's a right triangle? It'll have 1 right angle. Very good. And the fourth way, we're talking about angles here, would be what? No, not equilateral, because that would be sides. I'm talking about angles. Equiangular. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, think about it. If a triangle is equiangular, which means that every angle is equal, and if there's 180 degrees total, then each angle has to be what? 60 degrees. There you go. All angles are congruent, meaning they're all 60 degrees. Okay? They're all the same. They're all 60 degrees. That's equiangular. So those are the 4 words that we can use to classify triangles by its angles, either acute, obtuse, right, or equiangular. In terms of sides, the first way we could do it is we could talk about a scalene triangle. What is a scalene triangle? Yeah. Yeah, 3 different sides. Now remember, I'm talking about sides over here now, so everything's going to be associated with sides. We could talk about an isosceles triangle. Tough word.
Oh, the 2 sides are the same.
Spell it right. Yep, isosceles triangle. I-S-O-S-C-E-L-E-S. Tough word to spell. Okay, isosceles. So that means at least 2 congruent sides. Isosceles means at least 2 of the sides. So could it be equilateral and isosceles at the same time?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it could. It could be more than one of these, right? No one says that it has to be one and only one. So isosceles triangle means you've got to have at least 2 sides that are congruent. All right? It could also be equilateral. You got it. Meaning that all sides are congruent. Alright, so we're going to talk about the exterior angles there. So am I talking about the angles that are inside or outside the triangle? Outside the triangle. Well, those also have something. So let's begin by saying that this angle is 33 degrees. Alright? And then let's make this angle, oh, I don't need to draw a line there. Let's make that 118 degrees. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what does the third one have to be? If that's 33 and that's 18, what does the third one have to be? 60? 118? 33. What's the other one have to be? 29. Very good. It has to be 29 degrees. How do you know that? Alright, okay, now, so watch this. Okay. I'm gonna pick this side over here, and I'm gonna actually just extend the side. Okay? So I picked that side there and I extended the side. You see how I did that? Yeah, you should do that too. So extend that one side. So how much is this right here? 33 degrees, right? Now if I extend that side, do I make a straight line or not? I do make a straight line. So then tell me, what does that angle, that's the exterior angle, right? Because it's on the outside of the triangle. What does that angle have to be? This has to be 180 minus 33. How much is that, you guys? This has to be 147 degrees. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, now, you guys want your minds to be blown?
Yes.
Do this for me. Add up that number and add up that number. What do you get? You get this number over here. Isn't that crazy? Whose mind is blown?
Is that for like every single triangle?
Oh, that is for every single triangle. Watch this.
A right triangle, like
Every triangle. Watch this. Let's play this game again. I'm going to extend this line.
for every side too.
I'm going to extend that line down there, right? This angle is how much? 29. So what does that mean that this angle has to be? 180 minus 29. How much is that? 151. 151. Hey, how much is that? Oh my gosh, 151. Okay, so here we go. So the measure of an exterior angle, here, I'll just write it out for you, okay? The measure of an exterior angle is the sum of the two, what? How do we describe those? The two
Interior angles.
opposite interior angles. That's how we do that. Opposite interior angles. Okay? So if I was going to extend this one here, this angle, this is the exterior, these are the two opposites, right? Okay, so here we go. You might see a question that looks similar to this. You'll be given a triangle. First of all, do all 3 of those add to 180?
Yeah.
114, 39, and 27. Is all that 180 degrees?
Yes.
Okay? So this angle right here, this is already 39 degrees, right? I want the exterior angle. So it must be equal to the sum of the two opposite interior angles, right? So that must be that one
140.
and that one.
How do you know which angle to extend?
He says, how do you know which angle to extend? Well, it works for all of the angles.
You can extend.
Yeah, you can extend any of them, right?
Or you, if it's, can't you just, you can extend the angle and take 180 and subtract it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Where?
So we should see this. We should see that 180 minus 39 is how much? 141? Okay. Now, if we took these two angles and we added them up, how much would we get? 114. I added up 27. Look, I get 141 as well. That's what the exterior angle theorem says. It says that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the opposite interior angles of the triangle.